Sure. Here's scene 1 expanded to about 700 words, as requested, without headings. The late summer sun drooped low over the Wyoming horizon, its last orange rays stretching across the parched soil of Martha Green's ranch. Her land was quiet, except for the soft clucking of chickens and the creaking of a rusted windmill turning in the breeze. Martha sat on the edge of her porch, one hand resting on the smooth wood of her cane, the other gently stroking the head of her old German shepherd, Duke, who lay faithfully at her feet. Her faded flannel shirt hung loose over her small frame, sleeves rolled to her elbows, revealing leathery skin and a faded military tattoo long obscured by time and sun. She looked out over her fields with tired eyes, but there was still a sharpness in them, like something coiled and waiting. The growl of engines broke the silence. 3 jacked-up pickup trucks kicked dust into the sky as they barreled down her long driveway, fishtailing around the bend like predators chasing scent. She didn't flinch, didn't move, just narrowed her eyes. Doors slammed. 4 men jumped out, laughing too loud, already drunk. Rick Dalton led the pack, thick-necked, sunburnt, cocky. The Dalton family owned half the town, or so they liked to believe. Rick had never worked a real day in his life, but he carried himself like a cowboy out of a cheap action flick. 2 of his buddies followed, Derek and Mike, both big, dumb, and full of the kind of rage that comes easy when nothing's ever been denied to you. The last one, younger, quieter, hung back by the trucks, his eyes darting nervously around. Rick swaggered toward the porch, baseball bat resting on his shoulder. "Evenin', Miss Martha," he called, a mock politeness dripping from his tone. "We thought we'd stop by. Have a little chat." Martha didn't respond. She kept her eyes on him, her fingers still curled loosely around the handle of her cane. "You remember what we said last week?" Rick continued, stepping onto the first wooden stair. "This land's gonna be real valuable soon. Highway expansion's coming through. You sittin' on it like a dog guarding bones ain't gonna work anymore." One of the others laughed, slapping the hood of a truck. "Time to let go, Grandma. Town's moving on." Rick stepped onto the porch, just a few feet from her now. "You can sell and walk away with something. Or we can make sure you walk away with nothing. Simple." Still no answer. Rick's smile dropped. He raised the bat and swung it into one of the porch posts with a crack, splintering the wood. Duke barked and stood, hackles raised, but Martha put a calming hand on the dog's neck. "You gonna call the sheriff?" Rick scoffed. "You think anyone's gonna take your side over mine? Hell, half the town's been waiting for you to croak just so the county can flip this place. You boys got no idea what trouble looks like," Martha said finally, her voice even, flat as stone. Rick blinked, confused for half a beat, then forced a laugh. "And you do." Martha stood, slow but sure, and turned toward the screen door. She opened it without another word and disappeared into the house. The screen slapped shut behind her. Rick stared at the door, then turned to the others with a grin. "She's bluffing. Start breaking stuff. She'll change her tune." The 3 others spread out. Mike knocked over a water barrel. Derek started kicking at the chicken coop. Rick walked over to her truck and brought the bat down hard on the windshield. "She wants trouble," he muttered. "She's got it." Then came the first crack. A sharp report, clean and thunderous. Rick's side mirror exploded into metal shards, just inches from his hand. He stumbled back, yelling. "What the hell was that?" Another shot, faster this time. Derek screamed and dropped, clutching his foot. His boot heel was gone, blown clean off. "Gun. She's got a gun," the younger one shouted, diving behind a hay bale. "Where is she?" Rick shouted, ducking behind the truck. The sun was nearly gone now, and shadows blanketed the ranch. From the rooftop, for a fraction of a second, a glint of glass flashed, then vanished. "She's on the roof," someone yelled. "No," Rick whispered, his voice cracking as a realization dawned that made the air feel colder. "She's not bluffing. Let me know when you're ready for scene 2 to be expanded as well." Here's scene 2 expanded to approximately 700 words, as requested, without headings. The night settled fast over the ranch, the last of the sun swallowed by the hills. The silence returned, but it was no longer peaceful. It was taut, waiting, stretched like a tripwire. Dust still hung in the air from the truck's arrival, but now none of the men were standing tall. They crouched behind hay bales, beside truck tires, behind feed troughs, anything that might shield them from the unseen shooter who had suddenly turned the ground beneath them into enemy territory. Rick Dalton's hands were shaking. He tried to will them still, to summon back the swagger he had strutted in with just minutes earlier. He peeked over the hood of his truck, but there was nothing, just the wind whispering through the tall grass and the faint creak of the rusted windmill turning lazily in the distance. He couldn't see her, couldn't hear her, just the memory of the shots ringing in his ears, clean and mechanical. Not random, precise. She's gone psycho, Mike hissed from behind a broken water barrel. She shot Derek's damn foot off, man. Derek lay on the ground clutching what was left of his boot, blood soaking through his sock, whimpering between curses. She's not psycho, came a voice from the dark. Calm, cold, she's trained. It didn't echo, it didn't yell, it just arrived like a knife sliding through fabric, low and sharp and terrifying. You boys got two choices, the voice said. Crawl back to town with your tails tucked, or get buried out here where the coyotes'll find you by morning. Rick spun around, trying to find her. There was nothing, just the house, dark. The barn, silent. The shadows, too many places to hide. He hadn't even seen her go up on the roof, and now he wasn't sure she ever had. The shot could have come from anywhere. You don't scare us, Rick shouted into the dark, voice cracking halfway through. You think you can just threaten people? You're just some old woman with a gun. Silence. Then another shot. The Stetson on Rick's head flew off and landed 10 feet behind him. The bullet had passed clean through the top of the hat. Duke's growl came from somewhere near the barn, low and steady. I was a ghost in Kandahar, the voice said. 3 tours. Confirmed kills in 5 countries. You boys think your daddy's money and a lifted truck make you dangerous. I've taken down men with better gear and worse manners. Rick's breath caught in his throat. He pressed his back against the tire of his truck and didn't speak. Mike started crawling backward on his elbows, keeping his head down. Screw this, man, she's a sniper. Like, a real one. This isn't what we came for. Derek groaned again, trying to stand but failing. The younger kid, the one who'd barely said a word, was already sprinting for the truck, keys in hand. Rick swallowed hard. His pride told him to stand up, to shout back, to show her who was in charge. But his body wasn't listening. His hands were still shaking. You got 5 seconds, Martha said. 5, 4. They didn't wait for the rest. Mike grabbed Derek under the arms and dragged him to the backseat of the second truck. The younger one had the engine started already. Rick scrambled to his feet, heart pounding in his chest like a war drum. He didn't look back. He didn't speak. He just dove into the driver's seat and peeled out, the wheels spinning in the dirt as the 3 trucks disappeared back up the road in a storm of panic and dust. And then the ranch was quiet again. After a long moment, the porch light flicked on. Martha stepped out slowly, her rifle slung casually over one shoulder. Her flannel was buttoned up now, her gray braid tucked neatly beneath her collar. She walked with a limp, same as always, but her posture was tall, shoulders squared. Duke padded up beside her, tail low, eyes watchful. She stood at the edge of the porch, listening to the last of the engines fade into the hills. She waited. No more shots, no more noise. Finally, she exhaled and murmured, almost to herself, "Damn kids never learn." With Duke at her side, she turned, stepped back into the house, and shut the door behind her. The porch light stayed on. Just in case. Let me know if you'd like the entire story formatted for print, film, or adapted into another genre.